This is going to upset some people, but of course, I anticipate upsetting people. My stepfather, I consider him as being my greatest teacher, simply for the fact he taught me what type of man, husband, and father not to be due to the way he treated my mother. Domestic violence is beyond a sickness, it's beyond a disease. It goes both ways, but no one rarely speaks about how it affects the children who witness it as though I did. Not so much of how he beat the hell out of me, but how he beat the shit out of my mother. I always think of one particular time where my mother on the ground bleeding from her face, looking up at me saying, "Don't you ever, ever, ever treat your wife like this." And I said, "Okay, mama." But he turns around, looks at me and says, "Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You whoop her ass." He said that to me as he was instructing me to emulate or follow his sickness. I never really could understand how a male child as myself who grew up seeing their mothers physically assaulted could grow up to be a man who takes upon those same characteristics. I never understood that. It's almost like I would like to ask them, did you enjoy seeing your mother get the hell beat out of? Because if you did not, then how could you trace that same type of behavior yourself? Now, have I ever put my hands on a woman in a violent manner out of self-defense? Yes, I did. I had a knife in my face and I got her away from me the best way that I could. Have I gotten physically assaulted by a woman and did nothing? Yes, I absolutely did. Has there been times where a woman was physically assaulting me, smacking me in the face, and me taunting her? That's all you got? That's all you got? Just because you got a pussy, don't mean you got to hit like a pussy. Yes, I've done that. All in all, the best result or best answer would have been just fucking leave. But as far as with my experiences, the steps that so-called men take, first, he breaks the woman's spirit to make her feel less than nothing. Gradually or quickly, she begins to feel like as if she can't do anything without him. I remember asking my mother, why don't we just leave? And her answer was, where the hell are we going to go? He broke her spirit. And it happens often. You have to really be beyond unstable to physically assault someone, even if she's talking a bunch of shit, because some women do have a smart mouth. And my mother was the type who would not back down. A lot of us that had been through it and had witnessed it and did not emulate or follow those same types of behavior, we carry that shit right now. We walk with that shit still. I'm 54 years old. To this day, if you slam the refrigerator too hard, you might see me flinch, and my mind is going to trace back to one of those times I saw my mother flying across the living room. My mother wouldn't want me talking about this, bless her soul, but I'm talking about it. It. I remember one time my stepfather busted my mother's lip, then grabbed the back of her head and painted the door with her blood, just in a crazy ass blind rage. I remember screaming. I remember him not listening, not caring, just totally went off on the deep end. I can definitely say this, and this is not making no kind of excuses, but it is reality. Black men or men in the American Armed Forces, especially the Army. Now, when people see a so-called veteran and they say, thank you for your services, they don't know what they did or what they do inside their homes that affects their family. You're giving someone thanks for their services, totally being unaware that he was totally beating the hell out of his wife and children. No one ever thinks about that side of the story, but it does happen, and it does happen a lot, especially in the military household. And once again, this is not making no type of excuses. If your father or stepfather is of a lower rank, there's a strong chance that on a daily basis that he's going to get yelled at, belittled by a person or by people who wouldn't even say those type of things if it was a different situation outside of an army base or outside of higher ranks. So for the man to have to endure this, when he comes home to his family becomes a lower ranking officer, and he just takes that shit way too fucking far. If I've seen it once, I've seen it a million times, especially for us who had stepfathers in the military. That makes it even crazier, but men in the military, period, there's a strong and high chance that they did the shit. They did it. No one really wants to talk about it. And going back to the breaking the woman's spirit and making her feel as if though she could not survive without him, when the MPs come and the ambulance is there to nurse the woman's wounds, and they ask the woman, do you want to press charges? Automatically she says no. The child is sitting there like, what do you mean no? I don't know what happened, but his father, his mother, in front of all of them. I wonder what's going on with right now, because he saw his mother get due to his father. The American military breeds alcoholics as well too. That's a serious factor. I guess they just debrief a whole lot by drinking a bunch of alcohol. But then again, no one considers the children. No one considers the things that we saw, that we still carry to this day, that affects us. The reason why a lot of us finally can admit that we go to therapy due to the things that we have seen growing up. It gets looked over a whole lot. And again, I'm not focusing on right now of him beating the hell out of me, but the way he beat the shit out of my mother. I was in a situation with a female before where when she got the certainty, when she got the assurance that I was not going to put my hands on her, she took advantage of that shit, straight dogged me the fuck out. That happened another time too. I don't want to say no one's name. Is this difficult for me to talk about? Absolutely it is. Is this therapeutic right now? Yes, absolutely it is. Is this my way of reaching out to those who went through it? Yes, it absolutely is. Do I intend for those type of guys to see this? Yes, I do. Do I feel that I'm going to be called a simp by these guys? Yes, I do. But let's look at the word simp. S-I-M-P. In my case, see, I make progress. You know, when my mother began dealing with somebody else, and I call that man my pops to this day, because he treated my mother the way she should have been treated. You know what I'm saying? That man, I could say, honestly did love my mother. I think he still does. Honestly did love my mother. I call that man my pops. You know what I'm saying? Because he just loved my mother. Nothing is wrong with that. I'm glad she found somebody at least that she know that actually did love her. You know what I'm saying? But she got into another situation to where she was being physically assaulted and kept it from me for a long time. As a matter of fact, people that I knew what was going on, and they didn't tell me at all. You know what I mean? The sad thing about it is that I had warned my mother not to deal with that person. She did anyway, and got the hell beat out of her very often. I remember asking my stepfather one time, you know, if he went through it. He claimed that he did go through it. He claimed that he did witness his father assault his mother. As a matter of fact, his twin sister blamed the father for their mother dying. I'm not supposed to know about that, but I do know about that. He was just really upset because my mother was seeing somebody else. I don't fucking blame her, but my mother was seeing somebody else. He tried to drag me in the middle of it, but I wasn't going to tell until he threatened me. I had no choice. He had said, I'm going to tell you now, me and your mama going to have it out tonight. And then finally I kind of like stood up and was like, you know, well, how did you feel when you saw your father assaulting your mother? How did y'all feel, him and his sisters? He said, we should just sit in the bathroom and cry. I said, well, you know, one day I'm going to be tired of sitting in the bathroom and crying. I ain't going to cry in the bathroom. I finally had enough heart to just say that, because I remember times to where I was too small or too small to help. I would try to help, but, I couldn't stand up against him. I remember one time when I tried to grab him and he had pushed me. My head hit the TV. I'm knocked out cold. And when I woke up, my mother was standing over me shaking me, calling my name. And while she was calling my name, worried about me, he is wailing on her head. My mama's bleeding from the face, wailing on her head. No kind of regard for me being knocked out, and my mother just taking these licks and all of that right there. And I know she's feeling the impact of the blows, but she was so worried about me that she was ignoring getting beat down. She was more worried about me being hurt. These are things that I have to live with for the rest of my life. No one takes into consideration how it affects the children, those of us who do not emulate those type of behaviors or patterns. No one really talks about, or I don't know, doesn't give a shit about how it affects us. Nobody does. Nobody does. Do you want to be in a situation where you're being physically assaulted by a man or by the father or by a stepfather and your children are seeing this? Do you want to give your children the idea? Do you want to give your daughter the idea that, hey, it's okay to be with a guy like this? Do you want to give your son the ideology or frame of mind that it's okay to treat a woman this way? Do you want your child to grow up like that? To endure those type of things or be the person who inflicts that type of torment and pain against a woman? Is that smart to do? You can leave. You can make it on your own. You don't have to put up with that shit. And I know some of y'all sisters out there right now, I wish a motherfucker would, I shoot his motherfucking ass. It ain't always like that. It ain't always like that. My mother had a stick she called the nigger stick. She tried to grab that nigger stick and she flew over the goddamn dining room table. Her foot hit the dang sugar bowl and sugar flew in my eye. I was blinded for a minute and all I could hear is her screaming and being hit and flying into things. Am I affected by this shit? Yes, I still am. Does it go away? No, it does not go away. My stepfather was my greatest teacher. He taught me what type of man, husband, and father not to be. Thank you, you low-down, raggedy piece of shit motherfucker. I hate you forever. I fucking hate you forever. And the other men who physically assaulted women, I fucking hate you too. There is a different type of hell for sorry motherfuckers like you. May you get everything you deserve of torment, pain, whatever the hell. May the maggots dance across your eyelids and eat out your fucking asshole, you dirty, rotten, sick motherfuckers. Something I never understood any of this shit, but one thing that would seriously baffle me, one thing that would really confuse me the most is that how can you look your woman in the face seeing how much damage you've done to her? How can you be okay with laying next to her and seeing her face just swollen and bruised and you know that you did that shit? As a man, how the fuck do you live with yourself? You might be, 6 foot something and your woman is 5'2" and you handling her like, come on, yo. But what I do know is for those type of men who do put their hands on women in a physical, violent manner, the majority of the time, they don't want to fight no man because they some bitches. Then there's that other side of, there's been times where I've seen a woman getting physically assaulted, hopped out, pulled up, stepped up, ran up to help the woman, and she quickly begins to defend him. She's stopping me from beating his ass. She has a problem with me because I'm helping her. I never understood that shit right there either. I guess they call that Stockholm Syndrome or some crazy shit. I call it fucking retarded. That's the sad thing about it. We at a point in time and stage in life now to where even if we saw it, we really have to be cautious of trying to help, or we can help, or if we do help, we have to ask ourselves, is she going to continue to fuck with this dude? Because that's really a serious, strong possibility. That has happened before. I've been in situations where that has happened before. I almost want to ask like, yo, sister, do you enjoy this shit? But once again, step one is breaking the woman's spirit and then making her feel like she can't do nothing without him. Women, it does not make it right for you to have to endure that. It's not right for you to put your hands on a man, and then if he defends himself or puts his hands on you in return, don't turn into the victim then. Oh my God, I can't believe he just did that. Do unto others as you would want done to you, and don't do shit that you don't want done to you. It goes both ways. But 98.9% of the time, it's done by a dude, for real. Right now, somewhere, there's an excuse of a man getting ready to beat the hell out of his wife. Stop it. Right now, somewhere, there's a man, an excuse for a man, getting ready to mercilessly beat the hell out of his children. Stop it. If you are the type of excuse of a man that does those type of things and this bothers you, good. I hope the fuck it does. It should bother you. And you will get yours in return one day. You definitely will. Whether if it's somebody whooping your ass or you just dying sick, lonely as hell, with nobody to give a shit about you. It's going to come back to you. It's definitely going to come back to you. Ha! For real.